commentary about the dismantling of the U.S. Department of Education. They've made it clear they're going to dismantle it as quickly as they can, and that will have devastating impact on states that receive federal funds from the U.S. Department of Education for school kids. Meanwhile, the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, has joined five other states in pursuing supporting a new accrediting body that is perceived as the anti-DEI accrediting body. Now, the accrediting bodies nationally, they're usually set up by regions, and they are responsible for evaluating and assessing higher education colleges and universities, public and private, and their evaluations, their assessment is a strong determinant for who gets federal funds. The U.S. Department of Education for decades has approved and reviewed these accrediting bodies to make sure that they were living up to the higher education standards that are best for all of us. What the governor wants to do, and the governors of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas want to do, is go with a upstart accrediting body that is not approved, that says we're going to be the anti-DEI accrediting body, and why don't you come on with us? So they're trying to get more and more states to line up with them, even though they don't have government approval, so that public universities in those states will have to go through this system. Now, as things stand now, the accrediting bodies that are approved and any others that want to be approved have to go through a process that usually takes about 2 years or so. Guess who would have to approve this upstart accrediting body called the Commission for Public Higher Education, i.e., the anti-DEI accrediting body?
The Department of
The
Education.
U.S. Department of Higher Education. So they ain't going to let it die before this approval, or they're going to chip away at that process to go in other directions to see that that approval is not necessary.
Well, I think it's also a connection to make that this is the brainchild of their president. He's been attacking accreditors, talking about they abuse their enormous authority by requiring schools to meet standards related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I also think it's laughable that Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis is also in the mix of this, because they're talking about things should be based on merit. Out of all of these people, and then they had the audacity to call it an accreditation cartel. They want to compete with the accreditation cartel. The only people that move like the mob is the Republican Party. That's the people that move like the mob. And I ain't mad at it, because I feel like if the Democrats move like the mob, then you'll show them that y'all not playing with them. That's why I like with Governor Newsom over there in California. I like the type of time he is on, because nothing they're talking about can't be done on the other side. You have bigger states, and by and large, those states cover a lot of these states that actually want to talk real tough. You have to show them people that y'all serious. That's all. I get so sick of hearing about what the Democrats can't do. Ain't nobody following no rules. So why y'all keep thinking there are rules to follow? Sometimes you got to get right down on their level to show them you ain't scared of them. Because that's what they're leading from, a place of fear. They're thinking that their white privileges are somehow going to just evaporate. And they don't want that to happen. That's their fear. Nobody's afraid of y'all. That's the attitude that the Democrats need to have. And y'all need to put the real people who ain't afraid in the front, and all the rest of y'all just get in the back. That's what y'all need to do. They got a whole bunch of Democrats in Washington who are not afraid. Put them in the front. and then you just sign on in the back like the Republicans are doing because they terrified of Trump. So they just do what he say do. So how about y'all put y'all big guns in the front and everybody else get in the back and do what the people in the front say do? How about we do that? We could just have a little hold down at the OK Corral. That's what I think. I don't understand why we acting like we so scared of this. Ooh, we want to start a whole new accreditation and most of them probably can't spell accreditation. But they want to talk about merit. But I know our governor know how to spell it because he went to Southern. And you know, at those good enriched HBCUs, we teach folk. And we don't ostracize them because they don't look like us. We welcome them in and we taught them. That's what we do. That's who we are as a people.
Everybody's welcome.
I know you can spell it, sir, because you went to Southern. Loyola wasn't checking for you then, so you came on over here and got all that good HBCU education, all that diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are so inclusive. Maybe that's our problem, huh, Will? Maybe that's our problem. Y'all saw the movie Sinners. Y'all always want to let somebody in. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. But you got to show them that you're not scared because they are not following any rules. And if they don't like the rule, they change it. If they don't like the judge, they try to get him removed. If they don't like the congressperson, they try to get him unelected. Like, I just don't understand why we keep on looking for decorum in a whole bunch of chaos. Why are we looking for it? I don't know about you, but see, I was raised in that project, and you ain't about to keep coming up in my house unannounced and touching my stuff and doing what you want with what I worked hard for. Everything that they're doing, y'all could do it too. You could do it too. They want gerrymander, you gerrymander. Because see, when we gerrymander, because that's the idea that Governor Newsom them having up there, we gerrymander for the right thing. We want you to come to the table so you can stop all of this disenfranchising people from their right to vote and having their voices heard and try to gerrymander your way into more seats. The same type of time they're on is the same type of time we could be on. But see, we keep on worrying about optics and what it look like and what the people gonna think. And meanwhile, they throwing away hundreds of thousands of pounds of food, dismantling the Department of Education, taking away your Medicaid, taking away your food stamps, and y'all keep wanting to play nice. Listen, put the big dogs in the front and let the puppies get in the back. That's what you need to do. Y'all need to start electing some gangsters. That's what y'all need to do. Some people that ain't scared to go toe-to-toe with a Republican, a racist Republican. Because some people that carry the banner of Republican, they're not racist. They just have different sets of values. But a lot of them are racist. They classists. Yes. Them. They fascists. Those ones. Those the ones you send the gangsters for. Because, see, that's the real reason why they feared the Black Panther Party. They didn't fear them, for no other reason other than them people wasn't scared of them. Them people was prepared to die by what they believed in. They was prepared to die by protecting their community and educating their kids and feeding their kids and building hospitals for their children. They wasn't scared of them. That's why the government feared the Black Panther Party. Because they was prepared to die for what they believed in. What you willing to sacrifice for what you believe in, them people don't take y'all serious because they know you ain't serious. Oh, baby, because I would love to sit in a congressional seat and have Marjorie Taylor Greene think she could talk crazy to me. Girl, when I finish with you, you will be looking for somebody else to play with. Because you don't have the intellect nor the courage to come playing over here with me. My girl, you just don't. Your IQ ain't high enough. You ain't cute enough because that's what they need to start telling her. You girl, go get your new face and have a better opinion because she ain't cute. That's why her spirit ugly. The people, y'all got to stop being nice with people who have no intentions on being nice to you or anything that you love. Put the gangsters in the front, put the scared people in the back, and meet them people where they at. What you think, Will? That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I'm serious about this. I don't come out my house playing no games with nobody. About these children in this city, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to keep them safe. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. And we got to stop playing with the lives of our children. That's what this is all about. Them people don't care nothing about what we talking about because they don't believe we serious. That's how you build Luigi's. That's how you get people taking the law into their own hands because our government is not teaching us that they could protect us. We have to go to break. But when we come back, I'm going to keep on talking about it. And I hope you keep listening because it's time to get serious right here. This is a serious situation. Playtime is over. This is WBOK 1230 AM with New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
A stormier Thursday is expected. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will pop up throughout the afternoon and evening. Heavy downpours possible in some spots. Highs will be into the upper 80s, lower 90s, so not nearly as hot, but humidity still sticking around. We'll still feel a little warmer than that actual temperature. Rain chances also stick around for our Friday on into the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK. Got unpaid parking or camera tickets in New Orleans? Here's some good news. Through August 31st, you can take care of them without paying late fees. That's money back in your pocket. Just go to NOLA.gov/no late fees to see what you owe. You can pay all at once or sign up for a payment plan and break it into monthly payments at no extra cost. That's NOLA.gov/no late fees. NOLA.gov/no late fees. Don't miss out. This offer ends August 31st.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And we are back, and it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Hey, Dennis. Dennis back there. He done, I think you got it, huh? You holding it down? He pointing finger, pressing buttons.
All right, look at him.
He let
big
me
smile
know
on
when to
his face
start.
with,
I mean,
big
you
smile
did
with
that,
the big hair.
Dennis. And shout out to my co-host, Will Sutton.
Good morning.
I will say we having a conversation, but Will got me talking because Will don't like when I get up there. Will over there minding
Hey, you
his
in
manners.
your lane.
You're
in your lane on this education thing.
I am, and I hope a whole lot of people come get in the lane with me because see, I truly believe that we have picks and chooses. Like we pick who we want to go to war with, that we choose who we want to let slide. Anybody messing with my kids, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna pick and choose you. And we gonna talk about it. I just want to know we got a lot of smoke for a lot of things, but we sit back and act like we don't know what's getting ready to happen to our children if we allow this thing to happen. Because see, they already came for K-12. They already did that. They came for K-12, and the majority of us sat by and did nothing. And now with this accreditation stuff, guess what they coming for now? Your HBC and your U. That's what they coming for. Who you think they're talking about? You certainly know they're not talking about Harvard, do you? Huh? You know they're not talking about Princeton, don't you? Huh? They ain't talking about Columbia. I hope you understand who they about to take aim at. When they want to go to war, they always line us up first. Huh? Then they're going to go for our allies, those universities that like to actually support the betterment of all people. They're going to go for them after they come for us. But you see, the way I see it is when they come for us and we put them in their place, they ain't going to go for nobody else. But you see, they play with us because we like to be played with. Y'all like to be played with. You ain't going to play with me and mine. And I mean that with my whole heart.
So this is a focus on public universities in each of these public universities. Okay. And I'm not going to go down the list, but let me just say I looked at the list of people who've been appointed to the 13-member.
What we need to know is ain't none of them educators.
That's what I'm telling you.
Zero, none of them.
That's what I'm telling you.
None of them. But we ain't need no list to tell us this because we know our governor. We know him. We know him. It almost make y'all probably wish y'all was friends with him so y'all could get some of this action, right? Because, you know, that's what a lot of us like to do. We like to stand next to the people. We can rub a little shoulder with them. Maybe we'll get a little something. 13 people, how will? None of them educators? What field they work in? Oil and gas? Where they at? Huh? They got warehouses where we can hide our homeless. What they got?
Law.
Yachts.
Law.
Huh?
Elected officials. Legislators. Board chairman of the different systems.
There is no way. There's no way, Will Sutton.
And the governor's executive council.
There is no way, Will Sutton.
And the governor's commissioner of administration.
That a man who had the privilege of attending Southern University. There's no way that a man that had the privilege to do that will come up with an idea this asinine. An accreditation body that is anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion. You wouldn't even be in the race if it wasn't for Southern University. We put you on the starting line.
So let's back it up. So
Man.
Remember the governor got the legislature to approve direct appointments of the chair, not from the people on these boards, but by governor's appointment, who would lead each board. Those are the people who are on this task force now.
Well, there's no shock there. I wonder if y'all are connecting the dots, right?
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, well, I wonder if you're connecting them. Because when they came for K-12, there was a handful of people, and I could probably name the people by name, sitting in the rooms fighting against this foolishness every single time, getting on buses, going to the state, going up there to the Capitol, fighting alongside that warrior that we have up there in the Senate. A handful of people, could count them, could call them by name. Oh, that wasn't enough for them. So now they coming for your baby's opportunity to go post K-12 and have an actual college degree. Because, you know, they ain't start attacking college degrees till black folks start earning them at record numbers, right? Now we won't come forward with the public institutions because, see, they understand that these institutions depend on funding. And if they want to dismantle something, they come for the funding of it. I thought it was very funny how when the black women came together and said we need to have some sort of incubator where we can give money to these small black businesses to help them get off the ground. They attacked that too. Mm-hmm. They attacked that too. They're telling you they don't want you to thrive. They're telling you they don't want you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps because when you do, they take your bootstraps and pretend like you lazy. See, I don't know where God intends for my life to go. I don't know what path it is, but I know wherever I'm going, I ain't scared to go. Because I am so sick of us pretending like we don't see what is happening. We so scared to say his name like he Candyman. The governor got y'all spooked. Y'all could call each other out, but y'all ain't gonna say his name. Say my name, say my name. They ain't gonna do that, huh, Governor? You did your big one on this city, baby. What's really going on? I wish I knew your middle name. I'll call you by your whole name. Do the governor got a middle name? Let's look that up, Will. Mm-hmm. What's Jeffrey's middle name? Sweet. I don't know. I don't know. I know he has very wealthy friends. I know they got really nice boats. Who?
Jeffrey Martin.
Martin? Isn't he
Jeffrey Martin?
Isn't he from like St. Martin or something? Isn't that like his parish that he's from? Am I tripping? Jeffrey Martin.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where his middle
Jeffrey
name
Martin.
came from. Jeffrey Martin.
St. Martinville. That's what.
Yeah,
That's
I
what.
knew it was-
That's the Martin
like
connection. St. Martinville. Jeffrey Martin Landry.
Mr. Governor, you must be Candyman because the people not playing with you. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you one thing. It's not like you reinventing the wheel. You just sitting there paying attention to your president, the person who you admire so much, whose policies that you are so in line with. And you're like, I don't even have to really be a governor. I can just look at his policies and bring them on down to the state level and enact them here. I can appoint all of the people that I know that are going to be loyal to me and they're afraid to go against me because they want to stay in my good graces. I mean, he is reading from the book of Trump, chapter and verse. And I guarantee you those same people believe in the Bible, chapter and verse. Because certainly they believe their God is white and fascist too. Child, we are living in a time. We are living in a time. I don't know what it is, but I think I have the spirit of my grandmother in me because she ain't raised me to be no punk. She ain't raised me to be no pushover. She ain't raised me to be scared of nobody that bleed just like me. She didn't raise me like that. I wasn't born like that and I ain't gonna die like that. I don't understand why we scared because the thing, I mean, we already living at the bottom of the barrel. Like we at the bottom of everything. Like what are we afraid to lose? They taking everything. So when we gonna fight back, Will Sutton?
Mm-hmm. The time is now.
It's
It's been time, but it's time right now.
Shout out to Senator Dr.
We got to go to
Joseph
break?
Bowie. We at 58. That's the break time. I mean, it's always been. Shout out
All
to
right.
Senator Dr. Joseph Bowie,
All right.
who is a warrior up there in Baton Rouge for us. State Rep Delisha Boyd, State Rep Matthew Willard, Jason Hughes. Who else we got up there? Jimmy Harris. Who else we got up there? That's some certified gangsters. Like we trying to figure out if we could clone y'all right quick.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's not going to happen in the next few years.
What?
Ain't nothing happening with Suno as long as Bowie gonna be
listen, to speak God, speak to me. Listen, I in Bowie I trust, baby. That's what I'm gonna tell you. And Bowie I trust. I don't know, I think the people who are in the decision making capacity up there at Southern University at New Orleans, I mean, you listen to what was best for the institution, and I'm proud of you for it. But Dr. Bowie is but one person. We need a whole bunch of people who actually believe in the viability of this city and its people, its children, its resources. Because I could tell you one thing, Louisiana could do whatever Louisiana want to do, but if we elect the right people in New Orleans, we could protect New Orleans despite what is happening on the state level, despite what is happening in this country. We got to put all hands on deck. Election day is October 11th. Early voting is September 27th to October 4th. Are you registered to vote? Are you going to bring someone with you to vote? If you need a ride, call me. I'll bring you. Because we got to do this thing like we did that thing when we voted down those amendments. We need to get
March
up, get out, and go
29th.
vote. Okay? We got to take a break. Raquel, I see you. I'm going to catch you on the other side of the break. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Kerr County leaders are pushing back on claims that they're hiking property taxes by 8% after devastating floods in Texas. Commissioner Don Harris says no increase is planned.
Oh my gosh, this is absurd. If it sounds too crazy to believe, call us, because it usually is.
The county's real estate losses now up to $200 million. Black Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff TK Waters says no charges will be filed against deputies in the viral arrest of black man William McNeil Jr. Body cam footage was released and McNeil later pleaded guilty to minor charges. A civil lawsuit is pending. And Netflix drops The Truth About Jussie Smollett on August 22nd. The documentary revisits the 2019 hate crime case with new interviews and perspectives. Smollett recently settled a civil suit with Chicago, agreeing to donate $50,000 to a local nonprofit. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with New Orleans Public Schools and the Cowell Institute, are excited to announce the launch of a new digital tool on the data dashboard. New Orleans Public Schools, 20 years later, a timeline of recovery, transformation, and growth. The tool provides data, information, and context on the past 20 years of K-12 education in New Orleans, the changes that occurred, and the outcomes these changes helped produce. Visit nolapublicschools.com/K20 to view the tool and learn more.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And we are back. And it is Thursday. And I'm your host. I was about to start rapping for y'all. I'm just joking. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta White. Shout out to Dennis. Dennis about to be you. Dennis, you think you're a super producer now, huh? You got it all down pack, huh? Shout out to our intern, Dennis, holding down the boards under the supervision of our super producer, Nyron Sanders. And shout out to my co-host, Will Sutton.
Good morning, good morning,
I'm going to tell y'all right now, being the host of the Good Morning Show guess what, y'all? It's about to be a year. Next month will be 1 full year that I've been on the airwaves talking that talk, enjoying, engaging in discourse with our listening audience. It has been one of the pleasures of my life this past year. I've enjoyed it. I do not take any of it for granted. I can remember, and Larry, if you're listening, I hope you call 504-582-9422. I can remember when I first got on the airwaves, Larry said, you some arrogant. Do you even know what you're talking about? That's what he told me. And now we love each other down. Hey, Larry. Shout out to Pop Jones. I haven't heard from you in a minute, Pop. I hope you're doing well. You and the First Lady. Listen, it's 8:03, y'all, and we've been talking about it. I don't know if y'all engaging in the chat because I haven't stopped by to look, but y'all sure not calling to have this conversation with me. Y'all forgot the number? Let me give it to you again, 504-582-9422. Good morning, Raquel. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Are you there? Hello?
I don't know. We might have lost her. But Raquel, if you can listen, if you can hear me and you're listening, you just give us a call back, 504-582-9422. But before the break, we were talking about Governor Jeff Martin Landry. We were talking about him and his goal or his aim, I assume, to create this entirely new accreditation body that is anti-DEI, whatever that means for him. I think it's very telling, and it matters not, the things you say to those folk who are, I guess, privileged enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, who do not look like you. I don't know what you're telling them, but the message you're telling the rest of us is that you don't believe that there should be equitable systems for all people to not only be able to educate themselves, but to be able to be productive citizens once they've attained either college or career. I just don't. There is no other way to say this. If there's an attack on K-12 the way it's been, and then there's an attack on public institutions, what message are we actually sending to people? Because I don't dislike folk because of the color of their skin. I don't dislike folk because they don't reside in the same tax bracket as I do. I don't dislike folk because they don't live in a type of neighborhood that I live in. I don't dislike folk for that, nor do I look down on them and try to take away all of the resources that can actually help them attain the level of things that I've attained. Because, see, that's what y'all like to do. Y'all like to play the game, and then when you get what you won't change the rules for everybody else. Because did you or did you not benefit from diversity, equity, and inclusion, Mr. Governor? So why is it now that you've done your part in that space that you want to dismantle that space for other people? I'm just not clear on that. Make me understand. And I actually love to meet with you. I really would. I actually like having conversations with people who I don't see eye to eye with, because maybe we could correct each other's vision if we have a conversation. But the way you moving don't feel comfortable to me, because it doesn't feel comfortable to my community. So I got a problem with that. And I'm not afraid to tell you that I have a problem with that. Because though I respect the office of the governor, I don't respect the way you moving, sir. This doesn't make sense to me. You could benefit from a thing, and the moment you get what you want from the thing, you want to dismantle the thing? Huh? You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of there's an election going on, and I remember this very clearly. It was when Sarita Steib and Gary Chambers and this other guy, I can't think of his name, but he's a white guy. He was running for, they were all running for the same seat. And the guy whose name I cannot think of, white guy, I think he was a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about student loan repayment. And he literally said he doesn't support people being able to get their loans forgiven because his wife had to pay for her student loans. And he don't see no reason why, if his wife had to pay for it, that other people don't have to pay for it. And I was sitting there like, you do know that the whole reason people go through things and want change system is because the people behind them don't have to suffer the same way they did. I wish your wife didn't have to pay her student loans either. If there was a way to give her some reprieve from that, that's what we would want. Nobody should go broke trying to get an education. Nobody should go broke trying to pay a hospital bill. Nobody should go broke trying to keep a roof over their people's head. And nobody should go broke trying to feed themselves. I don't know what kind of world y'all think y'all creating for people, but it's quite simple to me. I don't want any more for specific people than I want for all people, but that's how y'all live.
Oh, you're talking about Luke.
That's his name?
Yeah, Luke
he was
Nixon.
He was a pilot. That's all I remember. Him. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Mhm.
And it just jarred me because I was like, dude, that don't even make sense. Like, what? That's the way folk think. They want to game the system. They want to get what they want from the system. They want to take advantage of a system. And the moment they do it, they like, let me snatch this bridge away so nobody else can't do it. Once I get all my people and all my friends and all my family across the bridge, I'm going to burn the bridge so everybody else can suffer on the other side. That's what these policies sound like to me, Mr. Governor, and that's why I have a problem with them. And maybe I'm reading it wrong, and maybe you could correct the record for me, but I would love, invite me to the mansion. I promise I'll be on my best behavior. I'll even dress real nice for you. And mind my manners. Cross my leg at the ankle. and use all of the jargon that Xavier University of Louisiana taught me. I would. And if you didn't know, Mr. Governor, my undergraduate came from the University of New Orleans. So if that's better for you than Xavier, then I'll come in as a UNO graduate. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. I can't change my hair, that's permanent. Very ethnic. Can't change my skin, that's permanent. Very ethnic, right? But I speak the King's English if you like me to. Whatever you need me to do to have a conversation with you, sir, I just want you to take your hands off my city and its people. I want you to take your hands off the universities that make it possible for us to be able to educate ourselves so we could compete in this global economy. That's all I want you to do. I want you to stop stacking the deck for your friends and family while you pulling a rug from under mine. That's what I want, Mr. Governor. I ain't even got no beef with you other than that. I just need clarity. Good morning, Raquel. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. I'm so glad I was able. I'm sorry I had lost you earlier and stuff. I was just in the middle of my morning happy hour breakfast. I'm sorry. Good morning again to everyone. Okay, I'm so sorry for my
Raquel,
You're on now.
You on the air. You're not talking to me on the phone at the crib. You on the air. Come on, baby girl.
When I say, Dr. Wyatt, I am ready for all assignments that you have available for me. I will not come alone in this valley. I'm fighting with you just as well as the same words, the fighting words you called out all our arch enemies by name, middle name, spouse, whatever the case. When I say I'm ready to come for all of them, doctor, because at the end of the day, exactly piggybacking on with all the words that you have spoken is truly words that are really true, what's happening, what's going on in our city right now. Like you said, our statistics, our babies, they see in our babies growing up, exceeding out these schools and institutions. These babies are graduating now. Like you said, our babies they ain't dropping out. They ain't having babies who are all that phase is over. Our babies are getting educated, are graduating out these institutions. Whoever, like you said, they showing the expression or dismantling all relief and abilities for that to keep going on and stuff. And they ain't doing nothing but showing our people supposed to lay up there and see that is fighting words and demonstrations that they're doing, that they are really mad on the fact that times are changing and that we have to find the power that we are really creating to really change all that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. This is what I'm going to do, because every time you call, I feel like we need a whole window of time so we can have this conversation. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you when I get off air. Is that okay?
Please.
I'm going to call you. I absolutely will. Thank you. Thank you, Raquel, for calling. Appreciate you, my baby. All righty. John, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, John.
How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Well, hey, how you doing, Doc? Will and Dr. Wyatt. Well, it's all part of the plan, they don't want an educated population because when people can think more, they can resist more. And both parties, Democrat, I know people don't like to hear it, and Republicans, is why both parties, when you look at it, they'll do things for other groups and they won't do it for you because you have been designated as a permanent underclass. Okay? They're getting rid of these other people for a multiplicity of reasons, but they want you to go back, us as black folks, to go back to that subservient category where whites were on top, blacks were underneath. They make the laws and decisions, and you just abide by it. If it's unfair, so what be it? But this thing is not going to last too much longer. You could see what's going on in the outside world with the BRICS nations. I know you heard about them correctly, huh?
With the who station?
The BRIC nations.
BRIC nations?
These other economies, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the fact of the matter is, when you look at it, Europe and America is actually poor. They have technical know-how.
Good and broke.
Yeah, they're technically knowledgeable. They're rich in technical know-how, but resources, they are poor. France is falling apart now that Ibrahim Traoré and the rest of them, Tiani, then kicked them out of the Sahel. Now they're coming back trying to beg and negotiate things. So it's coming to a realization. Once technical knowledge starts to transfer, see, Vladimir Putin ain't no angel. Xi Jinping and them, those are not angels. But they are transferring technical knowledge. But see, these relationships are not about love, but it's about what's mutually beneficial. Okay? And as they gain technical know-how with all of the global resources, the global South is going to become the new global superpower. The Western countries are going to be irrelevant in about 10 or 15 years because they're minerally poor. Technically rich, but minerally poor. And that's just something for you to think about.
I appreciate you, John. Thank you. Look, I didn't even know we were going to have the Honorable Darren Lombard to call in because my question this morning was, where did we stand as it relates to the challenges that took place against about 5 candidates? And he's on the line, and I guess we'll get some insight there. Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show, the Honorable Darren Lombard.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
What's going on? Good morning, Will. How you
All
doing,
right,
brother?
man, thanks for responding. So
Absolutely.
we had a handful of challenges, and there was a 48-hour window that closed yesterday, we believe. And so, what is the update?
The only candidate that made an appeal or filed an appeal was Kevin Griffin Clark. That hearing will be tomorrow, and we should expect a ruling within a day or so after that.
So just for the purposes of clarification, are we now saying that the other folk who were challenged, because they did not file an appeal, that means they are technically disqualified from seeking public office?
Yes, they have gone beyond the window to appeal.
Okay.
And at that point, the original ruling holds true.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate that, because when I came in this morning, that's one of the questions I asked. I'm like, I know we had these, we talked about these challenges, and we have not gotten any follow up. I was looking for any follow up in any type of news reports and didn't find any. So we want to reach out and get your insight, and so I appreciate that. And I think it's worth noting. Do we have the names of those individuals? We'll talk about those individuals once we let you go, because I know you're busy, and we appreciate you stopping by to give us that information. So of the 5 folk who were challenged, one of them stayed in the race. I believe that was that Miss Christmas? Because the person who filed the challenge pulled the challenge from the courts. So she didn't have to file an appeal, correct?
Correct.
So she's in the race. So of the 3 that were left outside of Kevin Griffin Clark, because he made the deadline to file his appeal, those other 3 folk are technically disqualified from seeking public office. And those names are
Tyrell Morris, Gabriel Harris Thomas, both for mayor, and Willie Miller Jr. for Council District E.
Is that accurate, Mr. Lombard?
That is.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And let's best wishes, because I don't really like the word luck. There's a couple words I don't like, and luck is one of them. Because I do think it's blessings more than it is luck. But I wish you all the best in your race as well. So thank you for joining us this morning.
I appreciate it, Doc.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Look.
Now we got it.
Yeah.
Right.
From 5 to 1.
That's
from
right.
5 to 1. So shout out to Kevin Griffin Clark for I guess that shows his resolve in terms of wanting to be a public servant. For putting his challenge in or his response to the challenge in by way of appeal in a timely fashion. And so his hearing will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. We don't know whose court.
No.
We don't know whose court, but tomorrow at 10. So maybe the front porch will maybe be able to give us a follow-up update in terms of the outcome I guess it'll probably be in the media as well.
As soon as it's over. Since we didn't get any report about what happened so far.
Well, speaking of media, y'all, I got a story to tell y'all. Listen, I keep on trying to tell y'all, I watch the news. I listen to all of the things the streets are saying, so you don't have to. And Channel 6 had to put out a correction, and we're going to tell you about it right here on the other side of the break. But if you need a little hint about what it's about who actually runs the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. Channel 6, by way of reporter Cassie. What is her last name? Schwim or something? Something of that nature. Her first name is Cassie. She put out a report, and WDSU say, we need a correction. We're going to talk to y'all about it on the other side of the break. This is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
Hey, WBOK 1230 family. This is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning and happy Thursday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The Orleans Parish jail worker accused of helping 10 inmates escape in May will be back in court today for his arraignment. Sterling Williams allegedly turned off water to a jail cell so the inmates could remove a toilet and escape through the wall of that cell. His attorney claims he was threatened by one of the inmates to act. Williams' hearing is set for 9 a.m. And his arraignment comes one day after 9 of the 10 inmates pleaded not guilty to escape charges. They appeared via Zoom because all of them are being held at Angola since being recaptured. Derek Groves is the only inmate still on the run. There is a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. Then there are several cooling centers open today in New Orleans in the event extreme heat, like we saw yesterday, returns. So if you're looking for a place to cool down, you can head to the Rosenwald Rec Center, the Algiers Library, the New Orleans East Library, the Mid-City Library, and a few other locations. We have the full details on WDSU.com. And finally, day 2 of Saints training camp gets underway in just a few hours. The team held their first practice yesterday, taking the field for about 75 minutes without pads. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Feeling stuck in your job? Dreaming of something more? It only takes one step to change everything. With the Urban League of Louisiana's Skill Up Louisiana, you can train for high-paying careers in wind, solar, hydrogen energy, automotive, cybersecurity, AI, and more. This isn't a job, it's your future. A new career starts with one step. Your future is waiting. Visit urbanleaguela.org/apprenticeships to learn more and apply today.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 12:30 a.m.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Shout out to our interns under the leadership of our super producer, Darren Sanders, and to my co-host, Will Sutton. It is
Good
Thursday.
morning.
And baby, we are talking about it over here. So there was a report that was done by a reporter from Channel 6, Cassie Shrum. Is that how you say her last name? However you say her last name. Mm-hmm. Cassie. Mm-hmm. And she made this bold report that the Orleans Parish Jail had been taken over by the federal government. WDSU say, hold your horses. There's been a correction because Sheriff Susan Hudson has something to say about that. So WDSU reported from multiple sources that the Orleans Parish Jail is being taken over by federal government and that Sheriff Susan Hudson had been removed from the jail. This information from our sources was not correct. Who are your sources, Cassie? I want to know. I have questions. If the jail were to go under receivership, a judge would have to sign off on it and a hearing would be set. The Orleans Parish deputies, the OPSO disputes the claims from our sources and provided the following statement. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office categorically and unequivocally denies the false rumors circulating regarding a federal takeover of the Orleans Parish Justice Center. There has been no federal takeover of the jail. We remain under the leadership of the Orleans Parish Sheriff, Susan Hudson, fully committed to constitutional operations and transparent reform. Furthermore, no employees have been removed from the facility as part of any federal action. These claims are completely false. Not only did they provide that statement to WDSU, but the sheriff actually put a video out via social media with all of her deputies standing behind her and her in the forefront, all echoing this very sentiment. I don't know how we could get it that wrong. Who are your sources? Because I don't want to believe that our reporters are now listening to social media influencers for their news. Because even if somebody on social media reported that multiple sources said that the jail was under a federal takeover, even Google, even Siri could have told you, chat could have told you the truth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Maybe Grok.
We cannot put out something of that magnitude without actually Well, you say you had multiple sources, so I guess multiple people telling you the same thing probably led you to believe that that thing was true. But I don't know who your multiple sources are, and I don't know if by multiple you mean more than two. So I don't know. So I don't know who your sources are. But the article goes on to say we urge, the statement goes on to say that we urge members of the public and media to rely on verified official sources for accurate updates. Spreading misinformation and baseless speculation not only confuses the public, but also actively undermines the progress we are making to strengthen safety, accountability, and trust. False narratives, especially ones this serious, carry real consequences. The public deserves facts, not fear. Now, here is where that's a statement directly from the OPSO.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the sheriff herself put out a video, literally bar for bar, saying this very same thing. The Orleans Parish District Attorney, Jason Williams, entered the chat. And this is his official statement. Between the contempt hearing, the jailbreak, and the inability to keep inmates and deputies safe, it has become abundantly clear that the current sheriff is not equipped to deliver on the demands of the job. The jail in the city cannot and should not be left in peril under current leadership. This federal intervention to regain care, custody, and control is necessary and appropriate. I know y'all know what I'm about to say. What I'm about to say, Will? I know if you know me, you know what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
Here is
yeah.
what I'm about to say in case you don't know what I'm
Stay
about
out
to
of
say.
it.
This is my problem with this. I know the WBOK listening audience knows that the current district attorney in the city of New Orleans has a candidate in the sheriff's race. It feels disingenuous for you to have a statement as bold as that to undermine her leadership when you're literally running a candidate for her job. Come on now. The city of New Orleans deserves better than this cattiness that we got going on. We don't need to pile on to things when it's already an issue. We understand it. We know that there are some issues that need to be addressed at the OPSO, but there's also some issues that need to be addressed at the district attorney's office. Let's be very clear. There's also some issues that need to be addressed with the people who's supposed to get our streets together. There's also some issues that need to be addressed with these high light bill and water bills we pay and we can't get no reprieve from it. We all know when the Sewage and Water Board was under attack. There's also some issues that need to be addressed in the mayoral office, at the city council. We got to stop playing these political picks and chooses because there's also some issues that need to be addressed with the governor. Who gonna step out and address Mr. Jeffrey Martin Landry? The way we like to put out full articles about each other. Y'all don't be playing fair. Because y'all want to go after David when Goliath is right there. You need a slingshot? God gave me a couple. I be tickling myself. I really am having too much fun on the airwaves, y'all. But I mean what I say. Will, you over there quiet? You don't want to talk about the DA?
Well, there were photos of ICE agents outside of the sheriff's office yesterday.
Oh.
So.
Oh, that's the sources? That was the multiple sources?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Who sent the ICE agents?
Well, we don't know that, but I mean, the guess would be that there's somebody being housed that has an issue that ICE has identified. But that has nothing to do with who's running the jail and who's running the office.
It's election season, Will. It's election season. That's the only issue that I have with the statement from Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams is because he actively has a candidate that he's running in that race. So it seems like anything that you say as it relates to the sheriff won't ever be favorable. I feel like just to keep your hands clean, like I wouldn't have a statement to make. Liz Morrell is already making a statement. That's her last name. How? Because I always get that lady last name wrong. The governor got an opinion. Like all these people got opinions. We ain't got your opinion being added into the pot. Don't really give the pot any extra oomph to it. It just makes people side eye it because it's like, isn't he running a candidate? That's what it's making me think anyway. You know, oh, my girl. See, I like the way you move, girl. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The people be leaned in and they be listening to the Good Morning Show because I think the sheriff won't enter the conversation. And if you want to, the number is 504-582-9422. If you want to join the conversation, Mr. Williams from the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office, you're welcome to do so. I like discourse. I like when we have layered conversations. I like when folks say, you call my name, here I go. Shout out to Mystical. I heard somebody was looking for me. Here I go. Good morning, Sheriff Hudson. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning. How are you?
How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for responding. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is crazy. I thought nothing could beat these last 3.25 years with the craziness I've seen, but yesterday topped it all.
Oh.
So, Sheriff, do you have any idea what led to the WDSU false report?
It has to come from people in our organization.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it has to.
Come on.
All these leaks that have been going on.
Sheriff, you got to clean your house, Sheriff. Like you got some, like I personally believe this, that there is something very cancerous going on around you, because there is no way. This article said multiple sources told them that your institution had been taken over by the federal government, and you believe that somebody from inside your house provided that information?
I do, and accountability is going on in-house. We had the great let out, and there are people responsible for that, and we are investigating that mightily, I want you to know. So, but we're also holding people accountable throughout the organization for they're just doing their jobs. And so people don't like that. People don't like being held accountable, but it has to be done, and we're doing that. So I also don't know that I believe this multiple source thing. They ran right out there as soon as a certain social media person put this up and ran right into the parking lot. I'm sitting in my office talking to some folks. I see these news vans just pull up. And then somebody's calling me and saying, oh, this is on social media. And then my phone just starts blowing up. So I don't believe there were multiple sources, to be honest with you.
So you believe their source came from a social media page?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And that would be Empower NOLA.
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't.
giving anybody any.
I don't.
Right.
Any
Okay.
publicity.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because I let me tell you something. Will, I purposely didn't name the social media
I
page
understand,
because like those sorts of people I don't have time to amplify foolishness on the airwaves of WBOK. I knew it came from social media.
Yeah.
And to hear it from the sheriff's mouth solidifies what I thought, because I just can't understand how you can make a fumble that great to say that the jail had been taken over, and then in the article by WDSU, and shout out to the folk at WDSU who are in positions to ensure that the record is corrected. But it says if the jail were to go under receivership, a judge would have to sign off on it and a hearing would be set. So how do we make such a bold declaration when this part of it had never happened? You could have checked with any person inside the judiciary to find out. You could have checked with anybody to see if a hearing had been set before you ran with that. I'm confused about how we can make such a huge leap without actual factual information.
But you can see any time anything negative comes out about a jail, mind you, a jail that is too full. And these things happen in everything that's going on has happened in every jail. But in this jail, run by this black woman, it is front page news every time.
Can I ask you, what do you make of the statement released by the district attorney's office by way of Jason Williams?
Yeah, we had to respond back on that. And I said this when we asked him to recuse himself from the whole investigation. You're playing politics. The district attorney is playing politics because he is supporting an opponent. That is really, really clear. But to jump the gun again, and his job is to investigate, to take the cases that are brought to him, to make sure that they're thorough factually, make sure there are facts to support these allegations before he moves forward trying to take people's liberty. So he knows this. He's a lawyer. Very simple. You need facts. Just ran off and said what he said without it. We responded back, and we're going to continue to respond back on folks. This is not going to go unchallenged.
So, so how deep do you think this is inside your organization? Do you think this is specific to this situation, or you think this is tied to what happened with the escape, or?
We're not able to connect all the dots yet, but we're working to do that. And when we do, I believe there's going to be a story to be told here, but it's going to be a story I tell. It's going to be a story I put forward, facts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to speak directly to the people of the city when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be anything. It could be a grudge because you didn't get promoted. It could be because you were held accountable for something. There's just no telling. I have close to 800 employees. So, any one of them, anytime, could have gotten this information and put it out. So you just never know.
Well, Sheriff, let me tell you what I appreciate. I appreciate the statement in and of itself, but I appreciate the fact that you actually put a video out so folk can put your face to the words that you were saying and they can hear from you directly. I think you need to do more of that, especially as it surrounds stories that are not true and that don't align with what the work that is really happening inside of that facility. So I appreciate you calling this morning. And I appreciate you availing yourself to add some layer to the conversation. And again, I'm going to put the same offer out to the district attorney. If he want to call in and talk to us about why he put the statement out, why he continues to put statements out when anything comes up about the facility when he's knowingly running a candidate. That's my issue with the statement. If we want to call out things, then we have to be equitable when we call them out. And that's my issue there. And again, I want to give respect to WDSU and the folk who are in positions to correct the record, because they did put out a correction very quickly once they received the correct information from your office. And so again, I appreciate you for joining us this morning, and thank you for adding your voice to the conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. We're going to continue to talk as we move forward. And girl, let me tell you, that's, I think, my first live video I've ever done. But guess what? There's going to be some more. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you,
All
Sheriff.
right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Listen, I enjoy, to be honest with you, having conversations that include all parties. And it was no shot against, let me be clear, it was no shot against the social media platform that you named. I just wasn't going to name the social media platform, because I think sometimes we give legs to situations that don't need to have legs to it. If the information was already proven to be debunked, we don't need to add the layer to it that gives it life that doesn't need that it doesn't need. And so again, it's no shot, because there are a lot of social media platforms, including that one, that put out information at times that are very much valuable for public consumption. But in our ability to always want to be first, sometimes we are less accurate because we want to be first. And if our newsrooms are taking their cue from social media, then this dynamic has shifted, because a lot of those social media platforms were taking the news from the media, from the actual organizations, and putting on their platforms to talk about. And so it's quite dangerous if that dynamic has shifted, because at least with entities like WDSU and WWL and Fox and all of those, they have real journalists in the room. They have real producers in the room. They have real researchers in the room. And so for me to have all of those people at your disposal, and you get it this wrong, they not only should have put out a retraction, but they should have apologized to the sheriff, in my opinion, because come on now. What? The federal government took over the jail? Wait, who said that? Now I sound like Portia Williams from The Housewives. Who said that? Who are your multiple sources? I want to know. And again, the Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams, and his official capacity as district attorney, his statement, I believe gives me pause because of the political climate we're in, and that he has an actual candidate that he's running. And here's the thing. I have a whole lot of respect for the former chief of police, Michelle Woodfork. I think she deserves to be in the conversation when we're talking about the reduction in crime that is happening in the city of New Orleans. I have a whole lot of respect for that, and we don't ever want to take away from who she has been in terms of public safety and who she will continue to be in whatever capacity she earns to be there. She currently works for the district attorney. So we just want to be, fully open when we having these conversations. If you got a dog in a fight, say that. That's the reason a lot of the folk who listen to WBOK have an issue with certain people who call in to talk about the dispute between the mayor and the council and the contract, because you got a dog in a fight. And I think that when you call in, you should just be transparent and say that. Like, just say that so that we can understand the fullness of the conversation that we're having. And speaking of the contract, there's been an update.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's been an update.
Yeah.
Which let me say this before we jump into it. I'm still not clear, because we had two rulings that seemed to contradict. Did they not? Because one judge allowed the contract that the mayor had for Henry Consulting moving forward. And then another judge said they're allowing the French Quarter Management District to move forward with their sanitation contract. How? What we doing? I mean, you the journalist, sir. What we doing? What you know?
We're in new territory. I mean, here's the thing.
What's the thing?
Every day there seems to be something new to make certain that we're not certain about what's going to happen on July 31st. And at this point, it's getting more and more likely that there could be two sets of collectors out there on July 31st.
So that's not what Troy Henry said.
That's right.
Troy Henry said he taking over July 31st.
That's right.
That's a week.
And a judge said
from today.
Can.
And the judge said he can.
Yes, he can.
But a whole different judge told the French Quarter Management District that they too can move forward. So what does that mean, move forward? Move forward meaning what? Like they could still have IV Waste picking up their trash specifically?
Yeah, because
so Mr. Henry gonna go down there and not pick up the French Quarter Management District's trash? So what the people gonna put a label on their trash cans to say FM, FQMD? Like that's what make me understand it, Will, because I don't like to be.
I want to know if people there feel so strongly about it that they're gonna man their trash cans and say, "You will pick up my trash, and you will not pick up my trash."
Let me tell you something else that happened, Will, that you might not know. Maybe you know. Tell me if you know. I keep telling y'all I watch the news, so you don't have to. NBC News ran a story for IV Waste talking about the lemon scent in the French Quarter. If we ain't playing political games, I don't know what we doing, because I said, wait, so the lemon scent was enough to make NBC News? Are we serious? That's what was on NBC News. They said the people in New Orleans in the French Quarter are enjoying the lemony scent that fills the air. Are you playing with me? NBC News, when we have a current president that's in the Epstein file, and he won't release the Martin Luther King records, but he won't release the Epstein letters, and then he sent one of his henchmen to the jail to go meet with the lady. And the last time we knew about somebody going to meet with somebody in jail, they came back and told us the man committed suicide. I don't know what's going on, but I think NBC got bigger fish to fry than the lemony scent that's in the quarters. What, Will? NBC News?
Which is a requirement in each of the contracts. So it doesn't matter who's doing the lemon. If the provider wants to do grapefruit, that would be in violation of the contract because the contract says lemon scent.
Mr. Henry, I think you need to put some essential oils in your lemon scent so you could up the game. Maybe we could smell like eucalyptus. So funny. Like, we really playing games. NBC News ran a story on the lemon scent in the French Quarter. Aaron, I see you, brother. Look, I got to take a break here, word from our sponsor, so we could continue to bring you the news as only we know how. Y'all stick with us right here on the other side of the break. This is WBOK 1238 and what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
The people.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
A stormier Thursday is expected. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will pop up throughout the afternoon and evening. Heavy downpours possible in some spots. Highs will be into the upper 80s, lower 90s, so not nearly as hot, but humidity still sticking around. We'll still feel a little warmer than that actual temperature. Rain chances also stick around for our Friday on into the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS Pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto Analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryan Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And we are back, and it is Thursday. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Our interns are holding it down, and we are so very much proud of them. And my co-host, Will Sutton, is also in the studio this morning. If you're just joining the conversation, we were talking about the update to the sanitation debacle that is happening in the city of New Orleans. And I mentioned that NBC News actually did a story on the lemony scent that is pervasive on the streets of the French Quarter. And I do believe this entire report is problematic because one of the things that I do know just from listening to all of the folk talk about the contract is that the lemon scent is embedded inside of the contract. So the fact that this NBC News story is saying that it could go away by the end of the month. It's disingenuous. It's misinformation. And that's the problem I'm having with this. Like, nobody wants to just tell us what's really going on here, because to have misinformation put on a national outlet saying that Sidney Torres and his company Ivy Waste is the report said they're squeezing fresh lemon. Fresh lemon is being squeezed into the formula that keeps the French Quarter smelling really nicely. But the story says that it could go out. It could go out by the end of the month, because the contract may go to a different vendor. They didn't even bother mentioning the vendor, a different vendor. They have residents that they've stopped on the street to ask them if they like the way the French Quarter smell. They walked into a business and they talked to a guy, and he said this is the best company that they've had to clean their streets. And listen, I'm all for giving accolades where accolades are due. And if you are doing your job, you deserve to be, congratulated for that. But you don't have to sprinkle in misinformation while you're talking about the good things that are happening in terms of what Ivy Waste is doing, because Ivy Waste is doing what the contract says to do. And per the contract, whoever takes over has to do that same thing. They have to put the lemon scent in the air. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen with this trash contract, because even the judges seem like they're not on one accord, because the French Quarter Management District has been given the green light to pursue whatever method they're trying to pursue. And then the mayor has been given the green light to pursue the method she's trying to pursue. So how are they going to be pursuing different methods for the same outcome? I don't understand it. But I'm also nobody's judge or lawyer. Good morning, Aaron. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
You're nobody's lawyer yet.
Oh, yes. Correct me. That's why I love my friends, baby, yet.
But y'all know, first of all, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Good morning.
Shout out to the Fatherhood Roundtable, as well as the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, Louisiana. What's strange to me is, how can the so-called powers that be have more power than the powers that be? That's where I'm confusing at.
Because the so-called powers that be have the money, Aaron.
But it seems like
the
power is controlling what the money does and where it goes. Because
well, when you have money, you have power, brother.
There you go.
When you have money, you have power. You don't need a seat. If you got the money, you got the power. You control the seat. That's the way I see it.
That's the way it is, because that's a conversation that's not being had. Too many times we have too many ass kissers and not ass kickers. And that's why we in the predicament where we are at right now. Because, look at the dynamics of our city right now. You got all these, I'm going to just go with the black leaders, right? You got all of them. But before I even get to them, you got me and you fighting over particular candidates that ain't going to give a damn about us once they get in the seat anyway. Because, look, show me what you have done, and I can tell you what you're going to do. Again, show me what you have done, and I can tell you what you're going to do. But we so ignorant, and ignorant just simply means you don't know, but we so ignorant to where we constantly fighting each other and taking our eyes and focus off the real enemy, which is the game from the jump, right? You like you just said a little while ago, they already played the game with us with K through 12, right? Now they got a plan. We already had a plan in place about our HBCUs, because they understand what's being taught at HBCUs, especially the predominantly black ones. How many colleges do we have right here in the city of New Orleans?
A lot.
6 or 7?
A lot of them.
and you mean to tell me we have like 6 or 7 major colleges in just the city of New Orleans alone, and education is not on the forefront of this city? Tell me that's not done by on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us just sit back and just think. A lot of us sit back and just think things just happen and it just falls out the sky, out the blue. We got to get our stuff together, because guess what? The more we sit back and fight against one another, right? The more these so-called powers that be going to keep on implement the plans what they do. We already see what they did in Baton Rouge. They done took a whole city, carved their whole town out, and made it predominantly white. But they're trying to take the black taxpayer dollars and fund their property. But instead of us thinking the same thing here, we too busy fighting one another behind these weak politicians and these weak leaders. Because guess what? No matter who gets the mayor's seat or the city council seat, the game is going to be the same when it comes to us. Because guess what? It's 2025, and nobody in this city or even listening to this radio station right now, even in this chat, can point to one political campaign that we can point to and say, you know what? This the model we're going to take and use. This the politician that we're going to take and follow. This the blueprint we're going to follow. I'm going to say this and I'm going to hang up. I'm going to say this and I'm going to hang up. It's a reason why still to this day the Black Panther Party has political prisoners. Not that they did anything wrong, but because of their political ideology. No other black organization has political prisoners till this day. Remember, a lot of us, I'm going to say this, then I'm really going. A lot of us really believe in this system, in this government, but don't forget, in 1985, in Philadelphia, this same government that some of us believe in dropped a bomb on the MOVE organization because they was not afraid to stand up for what they believe in and protect the community. You heard what I said? They dropped a bomb in Philadelphia on the MOVE organization because they was not afraid to stand up for what they believe in.
I was there.
Y'all take it easy.
I was there.
Aaron.
So you know I'm not lying.
No, I was there that day.
Aaron, I wanted you, I was going to say this anyway. I didn't know that you were going to call, but I want everybody within the sound of my voice and even in the WBOK listening audience in the chat, those of you who can hear me on the radio, Aaron lost his son to a drowning incident in Galveston. I happened to be in Galveston the day it happened. I was there. And I want to offer my condolences because it is his birthday, and we want to say happy birthday to your son. And I do know when we heard about Malcolm Jamal Warner and his drowning, that it had to bring back all of those terrible thoughts and feelings from that day for your son. And we want to extend our love and our appreciation for you and the work that you do standing up for community, because even though you lost your child, you have not lost the fight for other people's children. So I want to say I love you and I appreciate you, and happy heavenly birthday to your baby boy.
I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, sis. Love you too.
You
and
got
not
that,
just
bro.
that. When that situation happened, you was in the middle of the ocean and you still made time to call me.
I did.
and
I
reach
paid
out.
that high, and it was high. I paid it to call you. I put the service on my phone to call you because I
Straight
do
up.
love you
Straight
genuinely.
up.
So I appreciate the work you do on behalf of community. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for your passion.
Thank y'all.
Listen, and I want to piggyback on something and say this. And I've said it before. You know, I know a lot of my friends feel the very same way. It is not enough to simply show up black. You, if your policies don't align with what is best for us, simply because you're black does not give you access to our vote. And in the same token, just because you aren't black does not mean that you don't have policies that work in the best interest for black folk. I want to be very clear about that. This is not race politics, in my opinion, in terms of how you show up, in terms of your skin color. It is how you show up in the policies that you push, the legislation that you create, the stance that you take, what you support, where you get your money from. Because where you get your money from is important to me, because people who give you money have influence over you. I ain't got no money to give you, so I don't have no influence over you. But what I will do is fiercely defend the protection of these children by way of education, by way of opportunity, by way of access. I'm going to always do that. And it matters not who takes ownership of the mayoral seat. My stance will be very clear, and it will remain the same. Do right by my people, or I'm going to have a problem with you. And that's very simple. And you could be black, white, other. That is our stance. So I want to be very clear, if I got to say it again. It is not enough that you show up black. And I don't count you out if you do not show up black. It matters what policies you're pushing, which legislation you help draft, what laws you enact, what you support. Because until we actually have an agenda that serves the city of New Orleans And whether you like it or not, the city of New Orleans is majority black. We have to have an agenda that works in the best interest of the most marginalized communities of people. No more will we settle for everybody else benefiting from a city we created and cultivated and we keep alive by way of our culture bearers and our cooks and chefs and musicians and teachers and doctors and lawyers and the people who pick up our trash and keep our streets clean and pave our streets. Those are the people who are the heartbeat of this city. And those are the people we need to honor with our votes. Vote for people who honor those people. Y'all stay tuned. Up next for the Front Porch with Grayling and Kimber as far as the Good Morning Show, Dr. Ashanta Y. Will Sutton and our interns under the direction of our super producer, Nyron Sanders. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise